Two college football player props here over on PrizePicks for Saturday, August 23rd. You guys, week 0 of the college football season. Honestly, the best time of the year if you're into player prop betting. College football is just getting started. NFL about to get started here shortly, and then shortly after that, we'll get the NBA. If you're new to the channel, you guys, please hit that subscribe button and drop a like on this video. I do drop content like this all season long. Also, before I get into the video, please take a look in the description below. Hop into the Discord, $9.30 per month, 31 cents per day. In the Discord is where I post all the plays I'm making on PrizePicks. We have other cappers in there as well. Overall, super positive community. Everyone in there just trying to help each other cash. Currently doing a promo right now for first-time members of the Discord. 20% off your first month using promo code TUFF with the link in the description below. But like I said, you guys, college football week 0. I think we got like a 5-game slate here. Not too many teams playing, and the highlight of the day is the game in Ireland, which usually kicks the college football season off here. Iowa State versus Kansas State. And then I think we got a couple other games, five total games that day. And then obviously week 1 is starts next week. Thursday we got some games, and then Saturday, August 30th, is when the real college football season begins, essentially week 1. But yeah, let's get right into it, you guys. I got 2 player props that I do like for this slate. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. First play, receiving yards. Again, fantasy scores not up on the board, and you guys, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know I love college football fantasy scores because of the high upside for the high scoring games. But the first play is going to be Dylan Edwards over 11.5 receiving yards here. Again, taking a quick look at Dylan Edwards here. He is now the starter with DJ Giddens or I don't know if he's actually on an NFL roster. I think he is. But DJ Giddens was obviously a very high usage player last season, right? The starter for Kansas State, and now Dylan Edwards is now the starter, and is going to see a much larger role in the offense this season. Taking a look at this matchup, Iowa State versus Kansas State, 3-point spread, 51.5 game total. But if we take a look more specifically over on Outlier, again, link in the description below, you can get a 7-day free trial with Outlier. Last season, Dylan Edwards was over 1.5 receptions in 7 of 12 games, and that was when he was the backup. And if you even look at that season, he saw a target in almost every single game, except for one when he only played 13 snaps. But besides that, every single game, he saw at least one target, right? Which obviously helps us for that type of upside. Saw at least one target, and like I said, 2+ receptions in 7 of 12 games as the backup. Now stepping in as the starter. If you go back to 2023, when he was the de facto starter at Colorado with Shedeur Sanders and Deion Sanders, we see the type of targets he saw at the backfield, right? 2+ targets in every game except for one. And then obviously over this receiving yards line in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 7 of, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 of 12 games. Over that receiving yards line, and obviously then saw a ton of receptions as well, 2+ receptions in 10 of 12 games. So he obviously is a receiving back. He's a kind of an explosive player on offense overall. And then we talk about, I don't know what let's see if it's actually -120 on Bet365 over 1.5 receptions, which obviously bodes well to 11.5 receiving yards, over 11.5 receiving yards in 6 of 12 games. Last season. And something interesting I think is that because Kansas State's quarterback Avery Johnson is a dual threat quarterback, like he can run as well, he's a really good runner, the quarterback for Kansas State. I believe Iowa State's going to have a spy every time Kansas State's on offense. They're going to have to spy Avery Johnson, which does essentially move one linebacker away from his potential checkdowns to Dylan Edwards, right, which should just increase his upside overall, I think, in my opinion. Again, I like this spot here a lot for him. I think given the type of offense that they're going to play, and given the type of upside he does have as a receiver. And even in this article here, you can talk about how, he's been an explosive player. He scored 4 total touchdowns, 5 receptions and 3 receiving touchdowns in the opening game of Colorado's season 2 years ago, right? So again, he saw 3 touches in contest last season against Iowa State. Let's actually see how he did last year against Iowa State. I don't think that really matters in the slightest bit. Last year versus Iowa State, 1 target, 26 snaps. But again, completely different scenario for him. College football changes drastically year to year. And again, he's an explosive player in space. I really, really like this spot here for Dylan Edwards. The second one here is going to be from the Fresno State Kansas game down here later in the day at 3:30 p.m. 50.5 game total, 13-point spread. I do think this game will be pretty decently competitive. For this game, I like a rush plus rush plus receiving yards. I like Bryson Donaldson, right, running back for Fresno State, over 83.5 rush plus receiving yards in this one. Bryce Donaldson became the starter the last 3 games of last season, essentially. And in those last 3 games, all right, Colorado State, 12 carries, 140 yards versus UCLA, 6 carries, 41 yards, but 9 receptions for 44 yards, 10 total targets. And then 15 carries for 82 yards, 3 catches for 28 yards. So on this line, he was over in 3 of 3 games when essentially he was the starter, 140, 85, 110 on this 83.5 receiving rush plus RR yards. Again, this is Outlier, by the way. Link in the description below. You guys get a 7-day free trial with Outlier, elite research betting tool that I do use every single day. But what I find interesting, obviously Bryson Donaldson is the starter here, but Fresno State did also change offensive coordinators this season. They hired Josh Davis as the new offensive coordinator. He was recently the offensive coordinator for the South Dakota Coyotes, and they're trying to run the ball. They're obviously trying to run the ball. You can see here this article. Offensive coordinator Josh Davis believes 1,000 rushing yards is in reach for Bryson Donaldson, who was named as a Doak Walker candidate, which is when you name that, you're like expected to be one of the top running backs in the country. And again, the offensive coordinator here is expecting 1,000 receiving yards, or he thinks 1,000 receiving yards is in reach for a player like Bryson Donaldson. Now, what's also interesting is that Josh Davis, the new offensive coordinator, like I said, was the South Dakota offensive coordinator last season. And we look at South Dakota, they had 2 running backs that were 1,000+ yard running backs, 1,000+ yards. Charles Pierre and Travis Thies, right? And both those guys, I mean, at least Travis Thies also caught 33 catches for 385 yards, and Charles Pierre had 19 catches for 190 yards. So again, that type of upside, like for example, if we just look at Travis Thies, he was on one of the running backs here at South Dakota, and I want to say, I mean, this is very close to 80+ RR yards in every single game. The type of receiving upside he had, and then obviously the type of carries that he had, and he was essentially the backup running back, or essentially, I guess he saw more, but nonetheless, 2 1,000-yard rushers from this offensive coordinator here. That's now at Fresno State with the talent that Bryson Donaldson does have. I do really like this upside for him. Again, Kansas is middle of the pack defensively last season against the run, 75th in the country and 104th in receiving yards allowed. I think whether he gets carries early, I think they're going to have to, if they are trailing, given the 13-point spread, they're going to have to check the ball down. And this is a player that obviously can receive the ball, right? 9 catches, 10 targets against UCLA last season. Also, something interesting that I find is reception. He's minus 151 for 2 catches. Minus 151 for 2 catches. So let's just say at least 2 catches, right? Juiced over minus 151. 2 catches should hopefully get us, 10+ receiving yards in this one. Given, in games when he did see some targets, he saw 44, 28. So if he can get us 10+ receiving yards, I like the upside for him to get us, at least 65+ rushing yards, which should just put us very close to this line. So I like Bryson Donaldson, running back over RR yards combo. 2 player props, you guys, for this college football week 0 video. Please drop a like on this video, you guys. Hit the subscribe button. Check out all the links in the description below. And as always, let's cash.